I'm back for Dostoyev's coverage of the Blast TV Austin Major Playoffs Media Day. I'm here with Torzsi ahead of their match tomorrow. So, welcome to playoffs. Making it on a pretty scrappy 3-2 run. We already had a chance to talk to Zershin, and he admitted that things were pretty scrappy on the run to playoffs. But how are you feeling about the road to playoffs?
Yeah, I agree with Sachin. It was pretty scrappy, but I'm happy we made it. I think we gave our everything, a lot of strength to believe, a lot of tenacity we showed in the games, and I think it's also a good point that we are struggling a little bit because then it shows that there is room to improve. And I think maybe the last majors we were always going 3-0 and then the playoffs didn't went too good. But maybe now it's good that we struggled and maybe we can elevate our gameplay now in the playoffs.
In terms of looking for a silver lining to the fact that you had to play 5 matches, you had ended up playing 3 best of 3s. Do you think that helped in a way to sort of get you guys ready for competition? Considering, unlike say a team from stage two who had to play these early matches, if you compared, I don't know, Spirit, they only had to play 1 best of 3 in this whole event so far.
Yeah, it definitely helped us that we played 3 best of 3s already, also a lot of overtime. So we had a lot of runs to play, and we had a lot of evaluation. What can we do better already as a team, and I think it will help us a lot in the going into the playoffs. Just the preparation, and yeah, also the games we played is just good that we tried different maps and we see where do we need to improve, what do we need to do better. So yeah, it definitely helped that we played a lot of games.
Talking again about what Zershin said in his interview with us, he was pretty blunt in the fact that he said, the team had been playing, quote, awful CS, and that the goal was to sort of find your way out of that into playing the CS that, you had played previously in the year. How do you feel that progress has been since we last talked to MOUZ, and, what's the way to escape sort of playing, quote, awful CS?
Yeah, I think we just um, had a lot of evaluation, as I mentioned, and it's just also we saw what we did wrong, but we also watched back games before the major, like how did we play, and we just tried to see what we did different, and we reminded ourselves what we are good at and what will have to do at the playoffs, to be to have the gameplay what we want and to play the CS we would like to. So we just reminded ourselves what we're good at, and we also played a lot of practices, tried uh, the stuff out what we had before, and yeah, I don't think we need to change a lot of things going into the playoffs. I think we just had to remind ourselves what we are good at, and that's easy.
In terms of being, good at what you're good at, you've had a great year a great year so far with mouse sports on the up. Unfortunately, stage three was somewhat something of a low point so far. I think you finished with a 0.96 rating, your lowest rating of the year. Do you think that's an aberration, or is something do you think there's something you can point to as to why you underperformed in stage three and how you're looking to kind of recover from that in the playoff stage?
Yeah, I think obviously the big part of me underperforming on stage three is also that I don't think we played good as a team, and I, I of course it's I will have a hard time to play the game if we are getting a lot of entries, and we are getting a lot of entries. Like let's see the legacy game or any other game, like they have 43 entries out of the 60 runs, and we have 17 entries. Like the game is unplayable on T sides. And I think on city side I did pretty good. I think on the BO3s I played pretty decent. So to be honest, I'm happy what I gave. I think I had really good energy throughout the games, and I I was there when it was needed. But I still agree that obviously statistics-wise it's not the best event I have so far, and yeah, I feel like also if we step up as a team, I will play better. Uh, but I also need to step up individually, and yeah, I think I just I just need to do that.
Looking forward to the Spirit match, who you're going to be taking on in your playoffs opener. Mouse have a 2-0 record versus them in 2025, but obviously, things change. They've been on an absolute tear in the major, whereas you've maybe struggled a bit. How is the team feeling coming into that series versus the Russian Spirit squad?
Yeah, we feel pretty comfortable. As you said, we are up to 0 at this season versus Spirit, and we want to take it to 3-0. Obviously, the bracket is pretty tough at the upper bracket on the major. we will face Spirit first, and if after we won that, we will win that game, we will face Vitality most likely. So it's a stacked upper bracket, but I think we feel comfortable and we feel ready for it. You know, we knew that if you want to win a major, you need to beat everybody, and I think we feel prepared now to do that. And I feel also that, as you said, maybe we struggled a little bit on stage on the group stage, but I feel like we can shine in the playoffs.
And final question for you. You sound pretty confident about that Spirit game. One thing that's kind of, if you're looking at the stats for this matchup, they currently have 3 players from Stage 3 who are in the top 10 rated players. I think it's like sh1ro, donk, and magixx are all top 10 players at this event. Do you think you guys have a counter for their level of firepower they're bringing to the table?
I don't think the stats matter too much at the moment. I think it's just they won 3 games. Of course, they be the highest rated players, but we are not really looking to get scared or have any counter, especially versus donk or sh1ro or whatever. We know how to beat them as a team. We beat them twice already this season, and I think we will just prepare versus them as like they are a normal team as they are. So yeah, there is no special preparation versus donk or versus sh1ro or whatever is the case. We just treat them as any other team.
All right, that's Torzsi from MOUZ following ahead of their match versus Spirit tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.